How many of y'all have heard of Rachael Ray? Okay, I see a few of y'all have. Well, I certainly know Rachael Ray, but today we're going to have Cooking with Lindsay, and I'd like to share with you how to bake a cake. Now, one of the first things that I find important is to always wash your hands. So just put a little soap on, run the water, wash, and dry. It's good. Even though a lot of germs will get baked out in the heat, it's still just smart to go ahead and have those hands washed. Now, one thing that's really important and that will help with your cooking time is to go ahead and start the cooking time before you start mixing. For our recipe today, we need 350 degrees, so I'm just going to set that real quick. Now, the main thing, of course, when baking a cake is to follow the recipe, which we have right here. We've already started off by doing the first thing it says by heating the oven. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get our eggs ready. For this recipe, we need 3 eggs. And what we want to do with these is we want to crack each one individually. This is important because it allows you to make sure that there aren't any shells that get in. Really wouldn't taste too good in a cake. So we're going to crack, put it in. Then I'm going to take a fork, and one thing that's good, you're going to go ahead and mix it before you put it in. Go ahead and put that in. We're just going to repeat this a few times. Just remember, stir thoroughly. And we're going to check. We're checking for shells. None here. So this one also is good. And one more egg. Eggs are important. If you miss your eggs, your cake is not going to turn out right. That's for certain. Okay, so let's see. This one's pretty good. Pretty mixed up. No shells. Alright, and it goes. Okay, now the next thing we're going to want to go ahead and put in is our vegetable oil. Per our recipe, remember, follow the recipe, we need 1/2 cup. So we're going to take this, put it in. And we still need a couple more things. So next we're going to put in our water. We need 1 1/3 cup. So I've got a 2/3 cup, which we're going to use. You're going to use 2 of these for the water. Now lastly, now this is the good stuff. The actual chocolate is going in. We're just going to turn our mix upside down, put that right in there. Now, the fun part, I think, is the mixing. Would any of y'all like to help mixing?
Me.
Okay, come on up here. Now how this mixer works is you're going to push this button,
Okay.
and you're going to put it in here, and you're just going to twirl it around a little bit, okay? This is important because you do not want a lumpy cake batter. Your cake really will not turn out as well.
How do I do this?
You're going to push this button. Oh, always make sure that it stays plugged in. I'm going to hold this for you. So just hold that and go ahead and give it. It's pretty fast, so keep it slow. Make sure you move it in that circular direction. Very nice. Oh, it's looking good. Now, why don't we hold on just a second. One thing that when you use a mixer is that sometimes it's going to get a little caught up on the sides. So, when that happens, you just take a spoon, you get whatever the cake batter that's on the side that's really not getting quite mixed in, you kind of swirl it in yourself, and then you go back to your cake mixer. Okay, do a little bit more. Alright, now that's looking good. So this means we're about ready to actually put it in the pan. Now, one thing you want to do, thank you, you can have a seat, I appreciate your help. We're going to take this cooking spray and we're going to put it on our pan. This will help when we actually get our cake out so it doesn't really stick to the pan, and that's kind of a problem. So now, very easy, we're just going to pour it in. and make sure to get all of it, all that good chocolate goodness. But if you have a little left over, that's always good to eat just from a spoon, though you should be careful with that because eggs can have salmonella poisoning, so be careful. Now we're going to go ahead, smooth this out in a pan. And you just want it to cut nice and evenly. Make it pretty, you know, in case you ever bake a cake for someone special or for your family. And now I put it in the oven. Now always be careful to make sure when you do this that the bake time is already fully set up to what you need to. So this is how to make a cake. You follow the recipe. It lets you know per the pan size how much you cook. And that is that. Baking a cake, very fun, definitely delicious. Do any of y'all have any questions?
What is your favorite kind of cake mix?
That is a good question, but I'm going to have to say that it depends on the kind of cake. For chocolate, definitely like the Betty Crocker. However, Pillsbury makes a great kind of cake mix, which is called Funfetti. They're the only ones that makes it, so I definitely enjoy them for that kind of cake mix. Anybody else?
I got one. Do you ever bake cakes from scratch?
Yes, I do. It's good. You just have to find a good recipe.
Is there a cooking time difference between cake flavors?
No, there is not generally cooking difference between cake flavors. The main contributor is the pan size.
Do different kinds of oil make a difference?
That is an excellent question. For a cake mix like this, what you're going to want to do is either use canola oil or vegetable oil. If you use like a peanut oil or an olive oil, that flavor is going to be a little bit strong for the cake mix, and I definitely wouldn't recommend doing that.
Is there a way to make this cake healthier?
Yes, there is. Instead of using whole eggs like we use, you can instead supplement egg whites. That will change how many eggs you use, but it definitely makes it healthier.
And what's the main difference in cooking from scratch and using a cake mix?
One big difference is the complexity that's involved. This, very simple. We had 3 ingredients plus a cake mix, as opposed to from scratch, you just have a lot more going on.
Do cakes from scratch taste better than the mixes?
Ultimately, that's a personal thing. I don't make cakes that I don't like, so I like cake mixes, but cakes from scratch can offer a little bit different taste if you have a unique recipe as opposed to just a standard chocolate.
How long do you have to wait after the cake is baked before you can put the icing on it?
That's a good question. Generally on the recipe, it will have a set time amount, but the main thing to consider is that you need to wait until the cake is cool.